Mexico prepares to commence COVID-19 vaccination. South African hospitals face bed shortages as COVID-19 second wave hits. And Somalia's new prime minister survives assassination attempt. Hello and welcome to teleSUR. I'm Doris Polo in Quito, Ecuador, and this is from the south. Hundreds of members of the Mexican Army and personnel of the Health Department participated in COVID-19 vaccination drills at the Army's military college in Mexico City on Friday. The objective of the drills was to evaluate and correct logistical issues to optimize the procedures once doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine arrive in Mexico.
The vaccine they will receive is not an experimental one, but a vaccine fully tested that follows every regulation set for biological products of a high standard.
With the vaccines that will arrive, we will be covering health workers in general, in January and February, December, January and February. If everything goes chronometrically well, we will be covering the entire population by March 2022.
2 million doses of the CoronaVac vaccine produced by the Chinese lab Sinovac has arrived in the Brazilian state of Sao Paulo. The shipment was organized in partnership with Brazil's Butantan Institute with support from Sao Paulo State Governor João Doria, who has championed the local production of the vaccine despite President Jair Bolsonaro's open disdain. Brazil on Thursday recorded more than 1,000 COVID-19 deaths over a 24-hour period for the first time since September, according to a government tally. The country has the second highest COVID-19 death toll in the world at almost 185,000, only surpassed by the United States. 70,000 new cases were also registered for a total of more than 7.1 million. There are worries, too, about the nation's national immunization plan, which has been widely criticized. A day before announcing the plan, President Bolsonaro said he would not get vaccinated, sparking controversy. He also discredited the vaccine produced by Sinovac. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has participated in the special session of the National Constituent Assembly, where he congratulated the body for its efforts over the past 3 years.
And I also want to thank the people of Venezuela for all the support they have offered during these 3 years and 4 months. These 40 months that have passed since that day in August when the ANC was installed. All the support that the people of Venezuela, in the big cities, in the neighborhoods, in the communities, even in the most remote towns of the national geography, all the support that they offered to this Constituent Assembly to lead the country along the path of peace.
President Maduro also reiterated that the objective of the National Constituent Assembly is to re-establish sovereignty and peace in the midst of violence promoted by the far right.
When the debate was opened, together with our people, regarding the call that May Day of 2017, the fundamental objective of this ANC was defined, which was to reestablish the peace of the Republic, the internal security, national unity, and the stability of the country. And today, I can say that mission was accomplished. You hand over a country in peace, stable, united, strong, democratically stronger, and more stable than ever before.
Meanwhile, President Maduro has condemned the decision by the U.S. State Department to impose sanctions on a biometrics company that provided software used for Venezuela's parliamentary elections.
The ineffable, the unpresentable Mike Pompeo today introduced some stupid sanctions, like the real imbecile that he is, as he is on his way out against the company and the businessmen who manufacture the machines so that the people of Venezuela could vote on December 6. This Constituent Assembly was called to win peace, to restore peace, to strengthen the rule of law, to strengthen the way of anti-imperialist resistance, and has fully accomplished its mission.
Furthermore, the Venezuelan government has rejected the International Court of Justice's ruling that it holds jurisdiction in a border dispute it has with Guyana that dates back more than a century and has flared up recently with the discovery of oil.
The Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela repudiates the ruling of the International Court of Justice on the above-mentioned terms. It once again claims the validity of the Geneva Agreement of 1966 and ratifies that it will continue to exercise its just claim in view of the grotesque fraud involving the arbitration award of 1899 to the detriment of its territorial integrity. Venezuela reiterates its call for this dispute to be channeled in an amicable manner and proposes the opening of direct negotiations with the Cooperative Republic of Guyana in accordance with the international law.
In other news, Argentina's President Alberto Fernandez has extended social distancing measures until January 31st as the confirmed number of COVID-19 cases surpassed 1.5 million in the country. The measures, which have been enforced since November 9th, include wearing a mask in closed spaces and keeping a distance of 2 meters between people.
We are going to continue with what we have until now, social distancing. Today, definitely between today and tomorrow, we will be signing the DNU decree, but we will continue this way until January 31st. We all have a lot of desire at the holidays, at Christmas, at the end of the year to get closer, to share a meal, have drink with family. I ask each and every Argentine to not forget the problem that we still have.
We'll take a short break now. Don't go away. Welcome back. South African coronavirus testing centers are seeing high numbers of patients as the health ministry has officially marked the second wave of the epidemic. Experts fear COVID-19 will spread further over the summer holiday when people cross provinces to spend Christmas and New Year with their loved ones. President Cyril Ramaphosa has warned that a second wave could choke any economic recovery. South Africa is the most affected by the coronavirus on the continent, according to official figures, but also has one of the most developed health systems, with widespread testing compared to other African nations. A suicide bomber attacked a stadium in Somalia's central city of Galkayo on Friday, killing 15 people shortly before the arrival of the country's new Prime Minister, Mohamed Hussein Roble. Some high-ranking members of the Somali army were among those killed in the explosion, according to local reports. Al-Shabab extremists have claimed responsibility for the bombing, according to the group's Andalus radio station. Roble, who took office in September, was visiting the city as part of a tour of the central state of Galmudug. The African Union opened the African Migration Observatory in the Moroccan capital on Friday. The observatory's mission is to collect, analyze, and exchange data across African countries to improve migration policies.
The African Migration Observatory that we are inaugurating today is a fruit of 2 years of hard work and fruitful collaboration between our country and the African Union Commission. This inauguration could not have come at a better time, coincides with International Migrants Day. A happy coincidence that is only symbolic. It sends a strong message to the international community on the determination of Morocco and Africa to establish better migration governance on a continental scale.
Mali's government has announced a 6-month health emergency that will see bars and restaurants closed for 2 weeks, while fairs and schools will not reopen until January 10th, as hospitals are overwhelmed with COVID-19 cases.
The state of emergency is adopted this Friday, December 18, 2020, and for a duration of 10 days. A decree regarding the state of health emergency covers a period of 6 months from December 18. The closure of shopping streets as well as the closure of leisure facilities, including bars, restaurants, and discos as of December 19, 2020. The closure of all private and public primary and secondary schools until January 10, 2021. The limitation of gatherings to 50 people or more. This limitation applies to all types of gatherings, including weddings, baptisms, and funerals.
More than 300 Nigerian schoolboys who were kidnapped last week have been reunited with their families. Authorities said security services rescued them on Thursday, although it was not clear if everyone had been recovered. The school children were kidnapped at gunpoint by Boko Haram jihadist rebels on the 11th of December from a government school in northwestern Nigeria. Boko Haram attacked the school because they believe Western education is un-Islamic.
He has never suffered like this before in his life. He has to trek 70 kilometers in the bush. He has to depend on leaves, on seeds, and drink from the pond water. It's very disturbing.
I'm very, very, very happy, very, very excited, very, very happy and excited. You know, somebody that lost a son, and later found him like that, unhurt. It is nothing better. It is nothing of joy better than this. Yes.
The United Nations and partners have appealed for $254 million to provide urgent aid and protection to more than 1.1 million people affected by violence, conflict, and insecurity in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado region and neighboring provinces.
The crisis in Cabo Delgado rapidly escalated in 2020, with attacks and fighting forcing tens of thousands of people from their homes every month. Nearly 530,000 people are now internally displaced in Cabo Delgado, Nampula, and Niassa, almost 5 times the number registered some 9 months ago in March. People fleeing violence in Cabo Delgado have been exposed to severe violations and abuses, and we are especially concerned for the plight of children and women. Women and girls are at risk of abduction, gender-based violence, and exploitation, while boys are at risk of being killed or recruited by armed groups.
We have more stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back. Hundreds of protesters joined a torchlit march in the French capital, Paris, on Friday evening to call on authorities to grant legal status to all undocumented workers.
We came here to support undocumented migrants. We came as supporters while there are a lot of people who are undocumented. In France, there are more than 6 million people who are undocumented. So we came for the regularization of all undocumented migrants, for the closure of detention centers, as well as housing for all.
Undocumented migrants were in the second line in the fight against the COVID. Undocumented migrants were the delivery men, the garbage collector, the cleaning women, the cleaning men. They were undocumented migrants too, the cashiers. So we are asking, because of all this, that we be granted our rights to settle and to circulate.
Well, Dutch fishermen have warned that a no-deal exit by the United Kingdom from the European Union would have devastating consequences for the country's fishing industry, particularly for its favorite treat, raw herring.
If you take that vessel behind us, that's a Dutch freezer trawler, these vessels together, they fish 70% of their catch in British waters. No deal means no access. That means we lose 70% of our catch, of our turnover for these companies. That is devastating, doing that. So what they want is the continued access to UK waters and in fact doing their life as businessmen and fishermen as they have done for many years. No change. At the same time, also we want to have the same conditions to our markets. So in fact, reciprocal access to fishing grounds and to markets. That's what we want.
The United States on Friday authorized Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine for emergency use, paving the way for 6 million doses of a second vaccine to soon begin shipping across the hardest hit country in the world.
This evening, the FDA granted the second emergency use authorization for a COVID-19 vaccine. This authorization for Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine comes just 1 week after we authorized the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. With FDA's authorization, this additional vaccine will soon be distributed throughout the country by our federal partners.
The World Health Organization Director General says the agency's program to secure COVID-19 vaccines for all countries has gained access to nearly 2 billion doses of several promising vaccine candidates.
Today, we're proud to announce that COVAX has secured to access almost 2 billion doses of several promising vaccine candidates. These unprecedented agreements mean that all 190 countries and economies participating in COVAX will be able to access vaccines to protect vulnerable groups in their populations during the first half of next year. This is fantastic news and a milestone in global health.
Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte has announced new coronavirus restrictions to curb a sharp increase in the number of new infections.
We have to intervene, and it's not an easy decision. It's a difficult decision to strengthen the necessary measures to face the next holidays and to protect ourselves, also in view of the restarting of activities in January. We can speak of a red zone between December 21st and January 6th. It'll be forbidden to travel between regions. To avoid an increasing infections, all the national territory will be in the red zone during the public holidays. On December 28, 29, and 30, and on January 4th, it'll be possible to move within the municipality of residency only, without having to give a reason for travel. The end of this nightmare is in sight. Also, if with restriction we are getting close to the vaccine day, on December 27th, in Italy and another group of European countries will have the vaccine day.
The Prime Minister of Sweden has announced plans to tighten coronavirus restrictions starting next week, which will require many people to work from home and reduce the number of persons that could gather in public spaces.
First of all, maximum number of persons in a party at restaurants will be lowered to 4 people. Selling of alcohol will be prohibited after 8 p.m. at restaurants and bars, and this is from the 24th of December. For the second, a maximum number of people will be introduced in stores, malls and at gyms. And if that will not have the desired effect, the government will plan to close down those facilities. For the third, the Public Health Agency of Sweden will recommend wearing masks in public transport during specific times. For the fourth, upper secondary high schools will have remote education until the 24th of January 2021. And for the fifth, all activities run by the government, regions and municipalities that are not necessary should be closed down immediately and until the 24th January. That includes swimming pools, sports arenas, museums, and so on.
The Swiss government has ordered the closure of restaurants, bars, cultural venues, and sports facilities from next week because of a surge in coronavirus cases. The health minister said the new restrictions come into effect on Tuesday, since the situation in health facilities is not tenable in the long term. The federal government left it to Switzerland's 26 cantons to decide whether to close skiing facilities. Daily new cases have arisen over the past 2 weeks from 43 per 100,000 people on December 3rd to 50. So far, the nation has registered nearly 404,000 COVID-19 cases and more than 6,500 deaths. Over to Turkey, at least 9 people have been killed after an oxygen machine caused a fire in a private hospital. The hospital, located in the southeastern Gaziantep province, caught fire after a high-flow oxygen therapy machine used in the treatment of patients in the COVID-19 intensive care unit ignited the flame. Several other patients being treated at the same ward were transferred to nearby hospitals. An investigation is underway to determine how the machine caught fire. More than 1 million doses of a COVID-19 vaccine has been given to a key population in China. According to Chinese officials, the COVID-19 vaccine has been administered to medical workers, the elderly, and other at-risk groups. China has indicated that the country's 3 major vaccine institutes, including CNBG's Beijing and Wuhan Institute and Sinovac, have the capabilities for large-scale production of the vaccine. Health officials said no serious or adverse reactions have been reported so far. India's COVID-19 cases have surged above 10 million. The record is the second highest in the world after the United States. According to the Health Ministry, the number of cases increased by just over 25,000 in 24 hours, while the total number of deaths from the virus now stands at 145,136. The 10 million mark came as India is gearing up to start vaccinating its population early next year.
Yeah, they are not afraid of the disease, so that's why it is spreading a lot. They are not wearing masks and all, so that is why. Not sanitizing properly.
Yeah, India is big, but look at the population size also. Na? We have a huge population. Obviously, we have to control. We have to make sure that everyone plays their part and make sure that they're doing their role in order to reduce this.
Actually, we are living all the time we have to wear masks. We also want vaccines so that we can go freely outside without any fear.
The death toll from a Category 5 cyclone that tore through northern Fiji has risen to 4 as emergency crews work to assess the full extent of the damage from one of the year's strongest storms. Tropical cyclone Yasa was packing winds of up to 345 kilometers per hour when it struck the country's northern islands on Thursday night into Friday morning. A 50-year-old and 70-year-old man were confirmed dead, National Disaster Management Office Director Vasiti Soko said, bringing the toll to 4. A 3-month-old baby was one of the casualties confirmed on Friday. With communication still cut off in parts of the country and storm surge warnings still in place, there are fears the death toll could rise. On that very sad note, we've come to the end of this news brief. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Now, for our viewers in Africa, remember you can find us on StarSat channel 461 in South Africa and channel 539 in Nigeria. And join us on social media. For teleSUR English, I am Doris Polo. Thanks for watching.